"1968. I was 12 years old. A lot happened that year. Denny McLean won 31 games, the Mod Squad hit the air, and I graduated from Hillcrest Elementary and entered junior high school. There, that's me, Kevin Arnold, 1968, the summer before junior high school. And if we were going to hold our own with the older kids, we were going to have to act mature."
Class assembles for the Wonder Years at 6:30 tonight on 4.
You're watching Channel 4. Now, Hollywood's School for Wives. Marilyn Monroe, Lauren Bacall and Betty Grable star in How to Marry a Millionaire. Overture and beginners, please. And they all lived happily ever after, or so we're led to believe. But real life was rather different, even for those at the top of the tree. In Tales from the Hollywood Hills at 9 o'clock tonight, the studio boss finds himself besieged by hungry hopefuls when he books a table at Ciro's. And that's followed at 10 by Out of Town, a nightmarish film about a young man whose country walk takes an unexpected and terrifying turn. After the break, we'll be going over to ITN for an extended news summary.
The Central Electricity Generating Board is about to be replaced by new independent generating businesses. PowerGen will be one of them. At PowerGen, we're ready for the challenge.
Does a smarty get detention for being out chocolate? Who put the art in Smarties? How far can a tube go? Who knows? Do the reds go purple when they play the blues? Does milk chocolate taste better after dark?
Yum, yum.
Wet.
How long have we got?
2 minutes, Angie.
Crikey, we haven't even got time for naps. Well, here goes. Ah!
Have you landed yet?
Yes, right in it. Never mind, come on, let's go. Come on, we'll have to be quick. They're raising the drawbridge.
Find the winding stairs.
Winding steps, come on, it's this way. Ouch! I'm at the top now.
Keep going.
Going? Geronimo! I found it! Stop the clock!
I bet she drinks Carling Black Label. Ah. I bet they do.
Your best bet for a fuller flavour.
Carling Black Label.
How to do it? Week in, week out, the Do-It-All computer price checks over 200 different DIY prices and gives you this price promise. If you find anything cheaper elsewhere, we'll refund the difference. Price check. That's how Do-It-All do it.
In the wet, you can't choose a better tire than a Unimoil.
You must
just a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things supply as time goes by. Diet Lilt, when you're feeling good, tastes like it should. Diet Lilt, with a totally tropical taste.
After dark, Tia Maria.
Never in the history of Chinese communism have the people been united in such force against the party, not only in Beijing, but in other major cities across China. The plea for democracy and freedom is not simply a call for liberal reforms. The demand for an end to corruption is not simply moral preaching, but a call for fundamental change that challenges the very foundations of Chinese traditional thinking.
We love rice, but we love democracy more. Tomorrow at 9 on 4.
This is Channel 4. Now the news summary from ITN, presented by Zainab Badawi.
The Thames pleasure cruiser in which 30 partygoers are thought to have died. Good evening. Police say they're now assuming up to 60 partygoers may still be missing after a sand dredger struck and sunk a pleasure cruiser on the Thames in London early this morning. Officers have arrested the captain and second mate of the dredger and are questioning 5 members of the crew. Scotland Yard said this afternoon they're looking into what could be a serious criminal matter. 89 people survived the tragedy. 1 body has so far been recovered. The Transport Minister Michael Portillo has announced an immediate inquiry. The pleasure cruiser, the Marchioness, which can hold 150, was passing between Southwark and Cannon Street bridges when it was struck from behind by the sand dredger, the Bow Bell. According to eyewitness reports, the force flung the cruiser sideways and the dredger ran straight over her. In the past few minutes, rescue workers have begun lifting the Marchioness from the river bed. It's believed the bodies of some of the dead are still trapped inside. Lindsay Taylor reports on the disaster and what may have gone wrong.
The nightmare began just before 2 a.m. 1 minute people were enjoying themselves, the next they were underwater. More than 100 partygoers had been on the Marchioness, many dancing below deck, when suddenly, out of the darkness, they were struck by the dredger Bow Bell.
Well, we were just on the boat and there was music playing and this big tanker just went straight, hit us from the side.
You saw the tanker?
Yeah, I saw the big tanker just smashed into the side and went straight over us.
What happened then?
What then? I mean, I dived out the window, so there were lots of the people downstairs. I don't know. I mean, there's no way they would have got out.
I dived off and was taken by the tide, and I allowed the tide to take me, and it took me through and underneath and up the other side.
Some said the boat went down in seconds. The emergency services were quickly in action. All survivors were out of the water within 10 minutes. Those taken to hospital had minor injuries.
Most of the people who've come here were quite happily enjoying themselves at a party, and suddenly they were found to be underneath the water. And most of them don't really know how they got out of the water.
By daylight, only 1 body had been recovered, a woman's 8 miles upstream. With conditions dangerous, divers had to wait for low tide before beginning the grim search for more bodies. As they did, the Bow Bell was in dock under police guard, its crew undergoing questioning. At a news conference, the Transport Minister announced a full inquiry.
Well, the inquiry must establish what the causes of the accident have been. If, as a result of the findings of the inquiry, there are any lessons for us to learn and any changes that will have to be made, of course we would make them.
If one looks now in transport, in aviation, in railways, on the water, we've seen a tremendous amount of accidents and deaths, and they're increasing. Now that's got to be a matter of grave concern, and I feel safety's got to be put at the top of the tree.
How the 2 ships collided is still a mystery. Under navigational rules, vessels should normally proceed on the right-hand side of the waterway. Larger cargo vessels, like the Bow Bell, use the middle of the channel. The Marchioness was close to the south bank when she was struck. At night, too, ships must use navigational lights, meaning the vessels should be clearly visible to one another. Furthermore, if there's a risk of collision, ships should use loud blasts of their horn to give clear warning signals. None of the survivors spoke of hearing any such warnings. There are more pleasure boats on the Thames now than ever, though today most stood idle. They're regulated by the Department of Transport, which tightened the rules after a series of accidents elsewhere 20 years ago. To gain a safety certificate, the vessel must be in good order, have a competent crew, and carry sufficient safety equipment for an emergency. This afternoon, Mrs. Thatcher, who's just returned from holiday in Austria, immediately visited the scene. She said she was deeply distressed by the tragedy.
For the latest on the Thames River tragedy, we're going over to our reporter Lindsay Taylor, who's at the scene.
As you join us live, the operation to raise the Marchioness is still going on. There's a great deal of activity, and divers have been going down to search for what can, I believe, only be bodies now. But the company who own the Marchioness did say this afternoon that the number allowed on board was 120, though the company secretary said that she understood that the maximum number on board was 100. So perhaps the death toll has been exaggerated.
Police have asked all survivors to let them know they're safe. They've issued an emergency telephone number. It's 01 if you're outside London, 834 7777. That's 01 834 7777. And that's all from the Channel 4 News Report. ITN's next bulletin is on ITV at 6:30. But from me, good afternoon.
Now look at the weather. Rain in the north and west will turn to showers overnight, and these will mostly die out later. The southeast will see increased cloud with some showery rain breaking out, and here it'll be a warm night. Cloud and showers will clear the southeast tomorrow morning, and most places will have a dry day with sunny spells, though it'll be slightly cooler. However, north and west Scotland and Northern Ireland will quickly become cloudy and very windy, with further rain arriving.
You're going to need your hand. You're going to need a lot.
In the sport of traitors, only the strong survive.
He was injected with a fast-acting toxin.
I did what I was paid to do, no more, no less.
I didn't know her. Why should I fear her?
I'm sending you back, Alex.
Where?
To where it all began.
The ruthless betrayers, Albert Finney, George Siegel and Anthony Quayle in Brian Forbes' The Endless Game, tonight, 10:15 on 4.
Now on 4, international yacht racing from Cowes 89, including the Admiral's Cup.
Ocean racing's holy grail, the Admiral's Cup.